Hello, welcome back. I'm Glenn. This is Lesson 2, Week 9. During this lesson, we're going to talk about how to write cause and effect essays, the key points of Week 9. Before we go on, let's briefly review what we learned last time. We introduced two concepts, causes and effects. A cause is a reason why something happened or is happening, while an effect is a change as a result of something that happened or is happening. Please be noted that in many cases, making such connections can be difficult or controversial since the issues we have are usually complicated and not all people agree on the causes or effects. Then, what's a cause and effect essay? The cause and effect essay is a piece of writing that explores the causes and or effects of an action or an event. Sometimes we choose to focus on causes only in our writing, and we can call it a cause essay. Sometimes we can also put our sole focus on effects, and we call it an effect essay. In other times, we need to address both causes and effects because they are equally important to us, and we call it cause and effect essay. As we talked about last time, we need to first figure out the causes and effects before we write the essay. The next step is to put them together in a clear and logical way. Actually, there are two organization patterns for cause and effect essays. One is the block organization. The other is the chain organization. A chain organization examines causes or effects that are directly linked sequentially. In other words, one cause leads to an effect, which leads to another effect, and so on. Such as the effects of a shortage of product on a free market we discussed last time. On the other hand, a block organization is for the multiple causes effects of an action which they are not directly linked. For instance, child obesity could result from three causes, namely too many calories from food and drinks, little activity, and genetic and hormone factors. Calories from food and drinks may not have anything to do with little activity or have a lot to do with a non-balanced diet. Therefore, if you intend to write about child obesity and focus on the three causes, you'd better use a block organization instead of the chain organization. Now, let's look at the block organization for cause essay. As you have learned in the previous weeks, a typical essay is made up of three major parts: the introduction, the body, and conclusion. In the introductory paragraph, we introduce the topic of the essay, and more importantly, we present the thesis statement, the main idea of the essay, usually at the end of the paragraph. In each of the body paragraphs, we give the major supporting ideas to further explain the thesis statement. Each body paragraph is centered around one major supporting idea. The concluding paragraph is our last chance to appeal to readers. In this paragraph, we can restate the thesis, express it again in different words, and we can also summarize the body paragraphs. In many cases, we can add a final remark at the end, giving comments on the topic. Back to the cause essay, where we follow the same structure. But now we'll focus on introducing the topic and the body part. There are various ways to introduce the topic. One of the most common ways to start the introduction in a cause essay is to point out why it is important to talk about the topic. Another common way is to briefly talk about the effects first, which will naturally lead readers to wonder what causes the effects, and therefore bring the thesis statement in. In the body part, we explain the causes one by one. Usually, we focus only on one cause in each of the body paragraphs by telling a clear cause in the topic sentence and supporting it with details. Sometimes you may read a body paragraph with two causes. It's very likely that these causes are linked closely, and it's a good idea to talk about them in the same paragraph. As for which cause goes first in the body, we'd better follow a logic order. Most of the time, the order of importance is a good choice. We can start with the most important and end with the least important. We can also start with the least important and end with the most important. Now, what you see here is a block organization for an effect essay. It looks very similar to the organization for the cause essay, doesn't it? The only differences lie in the topic and the body. In the cause essay, we usually start the introduction by mentioning the effects, while in the effect essay, we can start the introduction by mentioning the causes. In the cause essay, we explain the causes one by one in the body, while in the effect essay, we discuss effects one by one. Now, let's move to the chain organization. Here is an organization pattern mostly for explaining chain effects. Like the block organization for an effect essay, the chain organization has a body where only one major effect is talked about in each paragraph. But pay attention to the two arrows between effects in the chain organization. They indicate sequences. One thing happens after another. Therefore, when we use a chain organization, we cannot choose any other order but sequence. In other words, the order of the effects is fixed, and a different order would break the chain. Then the body doesn't make much sense. Besides organizational patterns, there are also some good suggestions for writing cause and effect essays. First, don't oversimplify causes and effects. The issues we deal with are usually complex, and people do not always agree on the causes and effects. In writing, we should be aware of alternative views so that we will not seem to be uninformed or engaged in simplistic reasoning. An essay that might have a sentence like this: I'm aware that modern approaches are often skeptical about simple forms of causation, and that some critics might consider a different range of cause and effects as pertaining to the issue under consideration. But for the purposes of clarity, in this essay, I will limit myself to showing how X can be shown to be a plausible explanation for Y. Second, limit the essay to a discussion of major causes or effects. In a short essay, we generally don't have enough space to discuss minor or indirect causes or effects. Therefore, we need to concentrate on the most immediate, most important factors. Covering too many causes or effects usually results in insufficient support, and readers may feel the essay is not convincing enough. Third, using quantifying words when presenting a cause-effect, especially in the thesis statement. Qualifying words are words like probably, possibly, likely, mostly, maybe, might, some of the main reasons, etc. They are used to make the statement sound less absolute. Fourth, convince readers that a causal relationship exists by showing how the relationship. Many beginning writers are so focused on the cause or effect itself that they forget to explain to readers what the cause leads to or how the effect is caused. For example, when writing about animals on the move as an effect of global warming, don't just state the change in the habitat. It is equally important to show readers how climate change has brought about the change. That's all for this lesson. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you again.